Under the castle shadow, two kids played as a boy crowned his princess with fresh blossoms. "Your white hair is stunning," he teased, making Aglet's face turn a lovely shade of pink. Their sweet moment shattered when a woman's sharp scream barked for Hiran, scolding him like a thief. She snatched him away, hissing, "Why on earth did you let that creature out of its cage?" Back to the shadows. Our poor girl was locked away, forgotten in a cold, lonely tower. Years later, disaster strikes. Eiglet stands accused of trying to murder the Empress herself. Talk about terrifying. "It wasn't me." She sobbed, but her stone-faced parents didn't even blink. Absolutely ice cold, right? She begged for mercy, clinging to the precious childhood memories she once shared with her brother. But his gaze was pure trash. He looked at her with total disgust, crushing her final hope. A guard stepped up, basically saying, "Princess or not, you're paying for this mess, little lady." The price for attempted murder? Becoming a human sacrifice for the sake of the entire kingdom. To summon the legendary saint, they needed Eiglet's precious blood. Yikes, talk about a toxic family. "Die for us and find paradise," her brother urged, approaching her like a true villain. A spark of hope flickered, until he pointed a cold blade right at her trembling face. "Your hair makes me want to puke," he spat, mocking her like she's some mastermind criminal. "Be grateful," he sneered. "The gods chose you to be our tragic little martyr for eternity. Meet the princess of tragedy." Eiglet was totally lost. How was she supposed to save the world? She had zero choice, only wondering if anyone in another world would ever come to her rescue. Meanwhile, in the real world, a subway station turned into total chaos. Someone fell on the tracks. A phone pinged with a "choose your hero" message, and suddenly our girl wakes up somewhere new. One second she's on train tracks, the next she's in a bedroom. Gravity is weird, huh? She checked the mirror and wow. Retro dress, glowing white hair, and a face from a game. She was Princess Eiglet from Archaeopteryx, that hit dating sim where combat meets total hotties. It's every girl's dream. Fighting monsters while collecting a harem of handsome guys along the way. The goal? Kill the Demon King? The cost? Eiglet has to die to summon the real heroine. According to divine word, a sacrifice was the only way to pull the saint into reality. To keep her people safe, the original Eiglet walked right into her own funeral. Truly noble. Plot twist. The Demon King faked that prophecy. The princess didn't actually need to die at all. Ironically, that ritual led to the Demon King getting wrecked by the summoned girl from Earth. But if this is real life, why does she have the entire game's strategy guide in her head? Must be a dream, she thought, until a maid burst in for her morning face scrub. "Lady Eiglet, time to wash up." Hearing that name made this fantasy way too real, way too fast. A few days later, the truth hit. She was the princess, and Eiglet's memories were flooding in. Poor Eiglet spent her life caged in a tower, totally powerless without a lick of magic. If the script stays the same, our girl is headed straight for the chopping block. Not cool. Wait, she remembers dying once before. Is this an isekai or a time regression plot? She's confused. One thing was certain. She had to escape this tower before she became a holy sacrifice. But those creepy, silent maids were everywhere. Sneaking past them was going to be a nightmare. Guards outside, and she's on the top floor. Unless she has wings, jumping is a hard pass. With zero magic and zero plan, our princess was stuck between a rock and a hard place. The game said the tower was for protection, but it felt more like a max security prison. Even if she escaped, her unique white hair would make her stand out like a neon sign. In this world, hair color equals power level. It's like a fancy magical hair dye hierarchy. Dark hair means you're a god, while white hair means you're basically a magical zero. Harsh. If she really turned back time, she had to find the snake who framed her for murder. Was it the emperor, the nobles, or even the empress? Eiglet didn't even want to suspect her own brother. Who was the prince? Eiglet's half-brother was the game's ultimate heartthrob loyal. Legendary knight. I mean, even if he did something awful, he was still way too handsome to hate, right? She wondered if the Demon King really rigged the prophecy, but she wasn't about to die for it. He was a world-hating hermit, but did he truly want to end everything? Our girl had her doubts. Then she remembered a famous game glitch she used to summon him during the very first levels. It would cause absolute chaos, but it gave her a genius idea. Use that glitch to summon him. Step 1, get kidnapped. Step 2, don't get murdered. She just had to prove her worth to him. She needed to be useful maybe by using the saint's existence as a clever bargaining chip. Heck, she'd even do laundry. Anything was better than rotting away in this dusty old tower. To avoid execution, she needed specific loot. A freshwater pearl and a piece of charred coral. A broken silver blade, wisdom branch, perfect mirror, and a bitten apple? Not exactly easy to find. Eiglet was frantically prepping her ritual space when her uninvited guest arrived. Her lovely stepmother. She wanted to know why Eiglet was stuffing things under her bed. Our girl just offered a distant hello. Empress Mina demanded to know if she'd seen the national treasures that had mysteriously vanished lately. Smelling a secret, she sneered that she'd finally found where the little rat was hiding her stolen loot. Eiglet knew she'd triggered a major flag. In-game, this woman was just a lowly, scheming concubine. She became empress after Eiglet's mother passed, maintaining a perfectly sweet, fake persona. But she's actually a nightmare. She sarcastically mocked the greedy princess for her little collection. Claiming Eiglet's theft was so shameful, she could barely look anyone in the eye. Talk about dramatic. Eiglet gave a fake apology, but as Mina demanded the items, our girl was totally distracted. Why? Because the moon was finally aligned. It was showtime for the summoning ritual. She only had a split second to exploit this glitch. It was now or never. It was a one-shot deal during the full moon. Miss this, and she's stuck for another month. But if Mina takes her items now, she's as good as dead. No escape, no future. So Eiglet dropped the act, warning her stepmother to watch her step in a bone-chilling tone. While Mina stood there confused, Eiglet whipped back the curtains to reveal her secret ritual circle. There were the stolen treasures! Mina sputtered, demanding to know what Eiglet was doing. She started lecturing about Eiglet's whims, but before she could finish her sentence, Eiglet took a big crunching bite of the stolen apple and let it roll across the floor. She began her prayer, calling her savior. Suddenly, a blinding light exploded from the circle. It worked. The magical shockwave was so violent it sent Mina flying across the room. The Empress shrieked in terror as a sinister, suffocating darkness flooded the entire bedchamber. Pure, raw power surged through the air. And then she saw him? A boy with horns. He phased through the wall like a ghost, looking deathly serious. Mina was absolutely shaking. Raven black hair and obsidian horns. Mina recognized him instantly and passed out cold. The Demon King glanced at the fainted woman, wondering if she was a summoner. But wait. Eiglet jumped in front of him. I summoned you, now. Please, you have to hire me. Her life depended on this job interview. She begged him again. Please, take me away. The Demon King was baffled by her proposal, but she definitely had his full attention. She introduced herself as Princess Eiglet, explaining that her scheduled execution was fast approaching. Fate had marked her, and her royal status only made the Demon King more curious. Then she dropped the bombshell. If she dies, he's going down right along with her. You talk as if you know me, he growled. Eiglet didn't flinch. I know you're Raven. Hearing his name left him stunned. How could a human know his secret identity? A social media spoiler revealed his name. In-game, he was just the Demon King. Only his inner circle knew his face. He was the world's ultimate boss, famous for obsidian hair and terrifying power. Eiglet continues her desperate pitch. She warns him she's scheduled for execution to summon a holy saintess soon. That Sanus would then team up with the hero to slay Raven. This spoiler shocks the boy. That was the game's tragic plot twist. Cliché or not, she knew this dating sim hid a darker story. Raven is skeptical. He demands proof of her wild, otherworldly claims. Lacking evidence, she tells him to leave and let destiny prove her right. He wonders why a human princess is leaking secrets to a literal demon. The reason was simple. Eiglet had zero interest in dying twice. Her blunt honesty leaves the mighty demon king completely baffled and intrigued. She begs for an escape, admitting she's an outcast among her own. Her white hair makes her a freak to humans. Raven finally notices. He missed it before. Her hair is like pure snow. How strikingly rare. She asks if he knows the powerless princess legend. Raven is clueless. He's hooked by the mystery. Eiglet realizes she's finally gained his interest. If he's clueless, then the rumors about him rigging the prophecy were lies. She needs to charm him. He's safer than any human in this castle. Raven wonders how a girl with 0 mana pulled off his summoning. She explains it was a no magic trick. Basically, she used a game glitch. The boy is baffled. How did she discover such a bizarre technique? Before she can invent an excuse, her brother Heron crashes the party. He storms in demanding answers, only to freeze at the demon's presence. Raven recognizes the Grey Prince. This soap opera just got interesting. The boy rushes to his mother, Mina, who's still sprawled on the floor. Mina wakes up screaming, accusing Eiglet of hiring a demon assassin. Eiglet sighs. Her peaceful exit just turned into a chaotic family drama. The ultimate mommy's boy believes the lie instantly and glares at Eiglet. Sword drawn, he accuses his sir of treason and consorting with evil. Is this how royalty behaves? He sneers. Eiglet tries to defend herself. Shut up. He barked. He wasn't interested in her side of the story. The maid claimed she was chanting curses. Raven watches the circus, unimpressed. As Heron rants about betrayal, Raven finds the whole situation pathetic. Suddenly, blue mist swirls. Eiglet is unknowingly draining the Demon King's mana. While they bicker, Heron starts his "You don't belong here" speech. Eiglet finished it for him. My presence is cursed and dark, right? Stunned, he calls the guards to arrest her for attempted royal murder. He vows to destroy the tower and the Demon King personally. Eiglet turns to Raven. Please, just take me away from this place. A powerless princess from a holy kingdom? Raven finds her absolutely hilarious. He offers his hand. Fine, I'll take you with me, no problem. She grabs his hand while Heron keeps screaming like a dramatic madman. Without a hint of regret, the princess tells her brother to take care. They fly out of the tower, leaving the dumbfounded prince in the dust. Soaring over a massive fortress, Raven announces their arrival. For Eiglet, this beats hours of in-game grinding. No more questing. They'd skipped straight to the final boss's lair. The Dark Lord lands with effortless grace. A grumpy butler named Owl greets them, demanding to know where his master had vanished to this time. Suddenly, a tiny human girl peeks out from under the Demon King's cloak. The butler is utterly speechless. A human in the castle? Raven casually introduces her as the runaway princess of the Kingdom of Terex. He claims she hired him for murder, but Eiglet protests she never actually wanted to kill anyone. She clarifies that his assumptions are totally wrong. If he thinks she's a killer, he's definitely dreaming. My mistake, Raven shrugs. Owl is baffled. How did a mere human manage to summon his terrifying master? Even Raven doesn't quite get it. He just brought her home because she begged for a job. This piqued Owl's interest. Then Raven drops the bomb. He hired her as his personal body pillow. Wait, what? That's a bizarre career choice. Both the princess and the butler are left buffering in shock. Recovering his manners, Owl serves Eiglet tea. Our princess takes a sip, thanking him for the hospitality. It tastes ... surprisingly normal. It's the exact same high-quality brew she drank back at the palace. She expected demon food to be terrifying, not refined. She sits there, taking in the grand hall. Her eyes wander to the Demon King. Starting today, she is officially this handsome lord's body pillow. Is this body pillow thing a prank? It's far too weird to be a legitimate job description. In an 18-plus story, she'd get it. But this is a PG adventure. What's the catch? What kind of service does he actually expect? Owl breaks the silence to question his master again. He asks for the girl's identity, but Raven's like, I already told you she's the help. A princess of Terex? Unlikely. Owl had never heard of a hidden royal daughter in that family. Raven insists she's legit. Even the Grey Prince Huron confirmed she was his long-lost little sister. Why keep her a secret? Raven doesn't comment, but he has a pretty good hunch why. It's her snow-white hair. He's almost certain they hid her away because she was born without magic. A powerless royal hidden in a tall tower, she's a total anomaly in this world of spells and mana. Was it for protection, or were they just ashamed? Raven stares at her, feeling a strange pull. She has a distinct, glowing aura that never fades. Raven asks her one more time about the Empress. I didn't do it, Eiglet snaps. She's sick of being blamed for a crime she never committed. She's just an innocent girl framed by lies. Raven circles back to her talk of the saint. You know, the one meant to defeat him if she sacrificed her life to the heavens? It confused him. Most humans are self-sacrificing heroes, but she actually values her own life. Duh, she retorts. Dying is a total deal-breaker. Flashbacks of her former life suddenly rush back. The screeching train and the cold steel against her neck, the memories of death are still fresh. She shudders, the trauma hitting hard. Dying isn't just scary, it's absolutely 100% terrifying. Her genuine fear softens Raven's heart. Got it, he says, finally respecting her will to live. He orders a maid for her, but Owl puts his foot down. Wait just a minute, Master. Is he really keeping her? This reeks of a human trap designed to take the king down. Raven just scoffs. Trap? From her? He finds the very idea absolutely hilarious and charming. Even if it's a trap, he's got many lives to spare. Eiglet is curious, but keeps quiet. Raven changes the subject. As I said, I'm hiring you as my official body pillow. What does that even mean? She cries. Raven deadpans that a pillow is exactly what it sounds like. But Eiglet wanted a normal job like scrubbing floors or washing the royal dishes. Raven gives her an ultimatum. If she hates the role, he'll drop her back at the tower. No pressure, he shrugs. But then he mentions the monthly salary, 500 gold coins. 500 gold, 3 meals, and breaks? Suddenly, being a pillow is the best job ever. Plus, he'll have Owl bring her the best sweets. The butler is absolutely fuming at the favoritism. 500 gold coins? Pure temptation. With that jackpot, she can buy every rare treasure imaginable. Eiglet accepts without skipping a beat. Her eager yes earns a satisfied smirk from the Demon King. As night falls, she creeps toward her master's chambers. Reaching the door, her heart skips a beat. Just what does a body pillow do? Left clueless by Raven, she tentatively knocks on the wood. Enter, he commands. The princess steps inside, her face flushing before the lord's overwhelming presence. Raven beckons Eiglet from his bed. She shuffles over with the grace of a malfunctioning robot. Suddenly, the Demon King yanks her arm, tossing her onto the bed like a sack of flour. He gives her the ultimate smolder. Eiglet's face is currently glowing redder than a ripe tomato. Panic? Her heart is doing Olympic sprints while her common sense officially leaves the chat. He looms over her, snatching her waist. Finally, the light bulb flickers on in her frantic brain. She panicked, wondering if human pillow was just a pervy code for his devious plans. Raven stays silent, tracking her with those intense eyes. Suddenly, he pins her down with one arm. Her face turns a lethal shade of crimson. Is it just her, or is the room heating up? She's totally dazed until bam. He leans in close, making her heart skip a massive beat. He flips the princess into a snug spooning position. The Demon King worries he's crushing her. He lightens his grip, but suddenly, a glowing blue aura swirls around them both. It's happening again. Raven's eyes fly open, while the princess is too stunned to even blink. The harsh reality hits. Her new master is literally using her as a premium body pillow. Breath on her neck, he drifts off. Meanwhile, she's busy absorbing that mysterious, flowing energy. She tries to fake sleep, but her nerves are absolutely fried. There's zero chance of resting. Just as his pain vanishes and he finally relaxes, Raven suddenly bolts wide awake. Feeling her pull away, he thinks his grip was too loose and gives her a shake. "Are you okay?" he muttered, blushing at her rare, fragile state. Still, our Demon King was pretty proud of his choice in human pillows. Raven hovered over her, shirt open, demanding she just relax already. Poor Eiglet's brain was short-circuiting from her boss's questionable behavior. Suddenly, his hand lunged toward her chest, making her shriek in panic. He realized she was vacuuming up his mana and tried to explain. "This has to hurt," he whispered, while our heroine died of embarrassment. She couldn't meet his eyes, making even the great Demon King feel awkward. He stared intensely until she looked back, totally baffled. Dawn approached. Back to spooning. The Demon King decided this princess was truly something else. Later, a husky whisper in her ear sent her heart into overdrive. "Not a fan." Emotional intelligence? 0, he called out again when she didn't answer. But she was out cold, letting him finally relax until sunrise. Morning came and Eiglet was a total mess. When did she pass out? The memories hit like a truck, sending her flying out of bed. Being a body pillow was way more ... hands-on than she expected. She was spiraling into a panic when suddenly he shifted in bed. She turned to find him posing like a cover model for a magazine. The man was dangerously attractive. Curse this Otome game and its gorgeous leads. Too charming. As she daydreamed, the king slept on while she blushed furiously. Temptation won. She reached out to touch his hair, but then Raven bolted up, forcing Eiglet to abort her grabby mission. He smirked, finally joining the living? Alas, no spicy drama occurred. He just needed a late-night buddy to stay conscious. Don't get ideas, he literally just wanted Eiglet to act as his human body pillow. Besides, she applied for this. His nonchalant attitude leaves our heroine totally baffled again. Deep in the castle, her face burns. She's the only one with a dirty mind. She claims he felt her up, but he insists he was just managing her overflow. "If I really grabbed you, you'd know." He explains the mechanics of magic drainage. He was just worried her fragile human body couldn't handle his massive mana flow. He's actually waiting for a thank you. Eiglet, however, hasn't a single clue. He gets dressed, explaining that her magic-less body basically overheated from his power. He just didn't want a hot girl attacking him mid-nap. Talk about a backhanded comment. Raven's patience hits 0. Honestly, her constant whining is starting to grate on him. If she's going to complain, she should do it quietly. He doesn't mind helping, but he draws the line at her constant yapping. He exits, slamming the door hard. Eiglet is absolutely livid. What is wrong with that moody, overbearing jerk anyway? Absorbing magic? She felt absolutely nothing. Maybe the guy's just delusional or confused? If she had her own mana, she wouldn't need his assistance at all. Still, she's stuck. Outside, the cool Demon King is blushing like a beet. That pillow talk was super awkward. A few days pass in the castle. Life with her new owner is interesting. Her princess routine? Wake up, eat, lounge, and basically rot in luxury. Lunch, more lounging, dinner, and then off to dreamland. What a busy life. It's the ultimate lazy girl's dream, but even luxury gets boring after a while. Sure, she has night shifts, but it's not exactly a regular career path. Raven keeps rambling about mana absorption, but our protagonist remains blissfully confused. Plus, Raven's nighttime habit of whispering her name has her blushing like a ripe tomato. She tries to clear her mind until a sudden knock breaks her romantic daydreaming. Expecting her visitor, she says, "Come in." It's Owl, wheeling in a fancy tea cart. Today's special, world-class black roast tea and a freshly baked Demon Realm walnut cookie. Eiglet is genuinely touched, showing her gratitude for the butler's top-tier service. Owl stays cold, reminding her he only follows his master's strict orders. He requests to leave, mentioning a maid will handle the cleaning duties shortly. It's official, the guy hates her guts. Too bad he's Raven's elite right-hand man. In the game world, Owl was a legendary mini-boss protecting the Demon Lord's throne. Back when she was a gamer, Eiglet used to absolutely demolish him in battle. Funny how she's fought Owl more times than the actual big bad boss himself. Bias aside, his cooking is divine. This cookie is literally to die for. Did this tough demon really bake this? The game never mentioned his domestic talents. Realizing the castle is full of actual living demons, she decides to go exploring. This place is massive, basically a miniature city hidden behind high imposing walls. She peeks into a room and finds a rowdy demon banquet in full swing. Seeing demons laughing and sharing food is a total shock to our sheltered princess. "What are you doing here?" A young demon catches her spying, making her freeze. He's fascinated by her human face, wondering where this strange creature came from. Panic mode. Eiglet trips over her own feet, failing to stick the landing gracefully. She face plants hard, drawing every eye in the room. Is she monster food now? Suddenly, a kind demon woman smiles. "Oh, are you the new recruit?" Eiglet was already blending in at the table, but the demons whispered about how young she looked. One lady asked if she'd at least hit her first 100 years yet. Our girl played it cool. 100 years? Eiglet was clueless. When the demon pressed for an answer, it finally clicked. These creatures live forever, meaning their aging process is totally different from us mere mortals. Sensing her awkwardness, the girl told Eiglet to run home before her parents started worrying. A kid had no business in the Demon Lord's lair. Talk about an awkward vibe check. Soon the others chimed in, claiming castle work was just a fast track to the scary front lines. They even offered a carriage ride home. Talk about the most polite monsters in history. All this kindness made Eiglet realize these demons were actually total sweethearts. Honestly, the humans she knew back home were way more heartless than these guys. The room went dead silent as the creatures stared, trying to digest her wild claims. Then came the roar of laughter. No way this brat was actually tight with Raven. They joked that if she was going to lie, she should at least make it believable. Eiglet insisted she was telling the truth, but the skeptical crowd wasn't buying it. Between wheezing laughs, one demon noted that their king wouldn't just hang out with commoners. He's way too high tier for that. They mocked her, asking if a VIP like him whatever wastes time chatting with a kid like her. Seriously, get a better hobby, girl. Pivot. One demon asked what kind of special job the Lord had supposedly given her. Was she on the clock right now? Eiglet had to pause and think fast. She couldn't exactly admit her job title was main character body pillow. Her hesitation looked super suspicious. The demons grew more doubtful until one woman dropped a bombshell. Look, kid ... The Demon King doesn't sleep. Poor Eiglet was left standing there, totally bamboozled. Apparently, Raven's magic was so overflowing he didn't need rest. Wait, then what happened every night? The princess flashed back to the glowing Raven she saw while he was supposedly out cold. She was sure he'd been dreaming. But her thoughts were cut short by Mr. Mustache Demon. He went back to the going home talk, demanding her address. Eiglet started sweating. She wasn't lying, but her situation was impossible to explain. Suddenly, the big boss himself walked in. Raven demanded to know what she was doing there. Instantly, every demon hit the floor. "Your Majesty!" They shouted, but he ignored them, grabbing Eiglet's arm with some serious attitude. The crowd watched in terrified silence, Was the girl toast? Then the king finally spoke. He told them to stand up. His arrival wasn't a reason to start worshipping the floor. Then came the decree. This human belonged exclusively to him and him alone. Spread the word, he warned. Basically, keep your hands off my property, everyone. After they left, the gossip exploded. No one even realized she was a magic-less human girl. Back in his room, Raven tossed her onto the couch like a sack of potatoes. Eiglet yelled, asking what crawled up his sleeve. It was broad daylight, for crying out loud. Clearly, it was a bad case of the green-eyed monster, but his expression stayed ice-cold. He told her it was nap time, looming over her and getting way too close. He literally flopped on top of her. Eiglet screeched, "What are you doing in the afternoon?" The boy fired back that it's called a nap precisely because it's during the day. He leaned in for more, but Eiglet shoved him away with another loud, panicked scream. The Demon King played his trump card. She'd already signed that binding contract. Rent wasn't free. She had to be his personal body pillow. Eiglet tried to compose herself. She agreed to the job, but this was not in the fine print. Raven looked annoyed. Was she shy or just stubborn? Fine, he compromised. He'd take a lap pillow instead. He'd be satisfied, but Lord Impatience skips her answer and just yanks her into place. Then he claims Eiglet's lap as his pillow. Stunned, she can't take her eyes off him. Lounging in her lap, the boy's zero help, just piercing her soul with that smoldering gaze. This pose was way more cringeworthy than their nightly snuggling sessions. Suddenly, Raven reaches out, twirling a lock while noting its rather peculiar hue. Eiglet braced for impact, expecting the usual insults she'd endured since childhood. Instead, the Demon King simply marvels at how blindingly white it glows. Calling his hair white felt inadequate. It radiated an ethereal, indescribable shimmer. Every strand held a secret color, yet they shimmered together in a blindingly perfect white. Stroking his hair now felt nothing like the wild, heart-pounding vibes from last night. Raven plays it cool, praising her gorgeous hair. Talk about a total heart-stopper for Eiglet. Wide-eyed, she's shocked. Apparently, everyone her whole life called her hair a total disaster. What a waste! Raven thinks she's stunning and asks for her take on his smooth talk. Plot twist! His new subordinate starts sobbing uncontrollably. Raven, you broke her with one compliment. He's confused, but she's even more lost. Why are these tears flowing like a broken faucet? How's a scary demon sweeter than any human? Aren't they supposed to be ice-cold villains? Hate was expected, but Raven's being a sweetheart. She just had to ask the big question. Don't you hate humans? Our Demon King admits most monsters aren't exactly fans of humanity. He explains she's one of a kind, making her feel like a total main character. Pro tip, a unique girl shouldn't wander a demon castle without her master's eyes on her. She giggles, asking sarcastically if she's now banned from being seen by any other demon. Raven's dead serious, demanding she actually focus for once. Done with her nonsense, he warns her to stay safe. She teases his concern while sniffing her own locks. That sweet scent brings her a moment of pure peace. Raven bluntly reminds Eiglet she's his precious body pillow. He must protect his property. Her eyes flash bright yellow. Extending his hand, he invites the bored girl to his office. For a nap? She asks, but Raven stays dead silent. He offers to have Al find her a hobby instead. She shrieks, just joking. The butler already wants her dead. Her panic makes the master smile as they head off. She mentions rumors that the Demon King never sleeps. It's not a choice. He physically cannot find rest. Infinite magic cursed him until she walked into his life. Clueless and blushing, she misses the heavy romantic vibe. She offers daytime cuddles, and he's all for it. Safe in his office, Raven finally collapses into sleep. Eiglet wonders why a literal king needs a human pillow. Does his massive mana act like a permanent caffeine hit? The game never mentioned this secret side of him. Their hair tangles as she gently pets his soft locks. His hair is dark as coal, mesmerizing and strange. Dark hair was common, but Master's magical glow made his locks look illegally handsome. Her fingertips buzzed with a faint spark, a tiny echo of that midnight electricity. The sensation was unexpectedly sweet. But if she could touch him like this, why did those nightly hugs feel so different? Was it the late hour, or perhaps the intimacy of the bed? Whatever the case, answers were far out of reach. Yet, if life stayed this blissful, serving her master forever sounded like a dream. Cut to the human realm. A pint-sized terror stood gloating over a pile of defeated soldiers. "Is that all you've got for Miss Puffin?" She mocked, laughing at their pathetic human naivety. She couldn't wait to see her beloved Demon King. Surely slaughtering these pests would earn his royal praise. Back at the castle, peace reigned as Raven slumbered peacefully beside his captive princess. His dark mana swirled around them like a protective cocoon, binding their fates even in sleep. Morning light pierced the room, jolting Eiglet awake. Had the sun really risen already? She stretched her limbs, marveling at the best night's sleep she'd had in ages. Duty called, but her rustling soon stirred the great Demon King from his dark dreams. As she dreamt of breakfast, Raven suddenly lunged, snatching her delicate hand in his. With a yelp, she was yanked back onto the sheets. "Hey, it is morning already," she huffed. "5 more minutes, double quotes," he grumbled, pulling her closer. Despite her protests, he shamelessly buried his face in her lap. Suddenly, a sharp knock shattered their morning bliss. The butler's voice echoed. Miss Puffin had arrived. Panic flared in Eiglet's chest. She shoved Raven upright, and he looked like a very grumpy, very handsome toddler. His annoyed pout was oddly cute, but their private time was officially over. Puffin burst in like a whirlwind. "My darling Demon King, your loyal servant has returned." Her eyes gleamed with fanatical joy as she bragged about crushing every human at the border. She'd even raided their base for fun. But her triumphant report ground to a screeching halt. Her eyes locked onto Eiglet. The temperature in the room dropped to 0 instantly. "And who are you supposed to be?" Puffin hissed. Eiglet didn't blink. "I could ask you the same." Eiglet had no clue who this girl was, much to Puffin's offended, dramatic shock. She claimed to lead a special task force. Wait. In the game, she was just a noble? This special task force was a complete curveball. This was not in the script. The game never mentioned an elite squad. Was the world changing right before her eyes? Hidden plot armor? Raven stood up, Puffin clinging to him like a hyperactive shadow. "How could you replace me with another maid?" she wailed. Raven just blinked, stone-faced. "Give me the report," he sighed. While owls spoke, Puffin burned holes into Eiglet with her gaze. She gripped his arm like a trophy, claiming her territory. Eiglet could only watch in silence. This girl was a literal hurricane of chaos in a frilly outfit. "You don't need another maid." Those words echoed in Eiglet's head, stinging more than she expected. A sudden, painful thought hit her. Does the Demon King actually have a girlfriend? He never mentioned a lover. Why did her chest feel so tight all of a sudden? Heartbreak? No, she was just a body pillow, right? That was her only role. She needed space. A walk through the castle seemed like the perfect distraction. She wandered the halls in disguise, but every interaction felt awkward and tense. Was it because of Raven's dramatic declaration? The memory made her cheeks flush. "She belongs to me? Don't touch her." Those words had certainly traveled fast. Now the demons treated her like a radioactive bomb. No one dared to even look her way. Even in his office, Raven was a statue. The silence between them was deafening. She craved a real conversation, but all she found were empty hallways. Until now, clashing steel. 2 demons were dueling, and a wild idea sparked in Eiglet's mind. With a cheeky grin and a bit of nagging, she secured a blade of her own. She basically forced them to train her. No saying no now. Time for a level up before escaping this creepy demon castle. Street survival is tough. The local demons definitely noticed her. The king's human is training? The crowd was super curious. The noise caught Puffin's attention. She was just passing by. Puffin didn't know Eiglet was human. Eiglet? A former pro. She'd maxed all skills. Magic swords? She was a legend. Real swords are scary. Still, boredom was the real killer. The duel started. Talk about a seriously bizarre atmosphere. The crowd watched. Eiglet felt as light as a feather. News reached Raven fast. A subordinate burst into his office. Your human is acting crazy. Raven's heart skipped a beat. Her opponent was smirking. I can't hurt the king's girl. He'd play nice. A few taps and she'd surely quit. Eiglet gripped the blade. Surprise. She wasn't playing around. Total shocker. She had that demon pinned in seconds. A blunt sword did that. The demons were totally stunned. A fragile human won? Her opponent was having a crisis. What is she? Eiglet was shocked by her own power. Her body moved solo. She saw every move coming. Dodge, win, repeat. She stared at her hands in disbelief. Game rules, humans lack magic. No flashy spells today. That's why she felt weak. But did her stats transfer? It was just a theory, but a pretty awesome one. Hey, you! Puffin's screech brought her back to reality. Eiglet barely noticed her. The general had to reintroduce herself. Do I know you? Eiglet really hadn't been paying attention. I just woke up, Puffin snapped. Sort out, duel time. What trick is this? A human beating a demon? Impossible. I'll humble you, princess. Puffin was totally fuming now. She wanted a quick win. Eiglet was just magicless trash. Over in a blink. Eiglet was busy analyzing her opponent. The king's girlfriend? If so, she might be actually tough. She's a top-tier NPC, but Eiglet felt pretty confident. Only problem? Hurting the big boss's main lady. Yikes. Raven was scouring the halls. Meanwhile, the arena was heating. Puffin lunged for the kill. Eiglet stood her ground calm. No backing down. She even flashed a cute, playful smile. Snatch? She disarmed her instantly. Jaws hit the floor. The sword stuck the landing. Puffin, her brain just fried. Puffin was seething. Are you hurt? Eiglet asked so sweetly. Did I overdo it? Eiglet thought, despite barely touching her. Puffin turned tomato red. That kindness felt like a total burn. You used magic, and your hair is just plain stupid. Your hair distracted me. The audience loved the petty drama. Magic-infused hair? Talk about a major cheat code for Eiglet's mysterious hidden potential. Raven finally enters, demanding to know what his pet human is up to while Puffin beams. The Demon King's aura fills the room, making our girl realize she's in deep trouble. The general cries cowardice, but the Dark Lord couldn't care less about her petty whining. He strolls past, sulking that he got a human attacking army alert on his magical phone. She claims it was just intense sword practice, and Raven surprisingly just shrugs it off as fine. Then, in one smooth motion, he swoops her up into a total heart-fluttering princess carry. Eiglet panics from the sheer embarrassment, screeching about where on earth he's dragging her. He begs her to stop blasting his eardrums, but she just keeps demanding her freedom. Puffin watches the chaos, baffled by why the Lord is treating this lowly human like a treasure. Owl snaps her back to reality, demanding a full report on what actually went down here. Meanwhile, the boss keeps strolling through the halls with a struggling Eiglet tucked under his arm. She nervously asks if he's mad she nearly bruised his girlfriend. Oh, that specific word. That makes him drop her instantly. He stares her down, wondering what nonsense she's spouting now. Sheepishly, she confesses she assumed Puffin was his main squeeze or something like that. He clarifies she's just an employee, leaving our princess in a majorly awkward oops moment. Since she looks unconvinced, the Demon King doubles down. She is strictly a subordinate, period. He swears he's never even touched an employee, his heavy, sleepy eyes fixed right on her. Sensing his fatigue, she asks if he's tired. Raven groans. He was supposed to be napping. After being rudely awakened, the princess suggests the unthinkable. How about a nap in bed? Raven is stunned, but next thing we know, Eiglet is sprawling her hair across the sheets. Her face is a total tomato red mess in front of him. But wait, what's actually happening? Mysterious sounds fill the air as Raven leans in, stroking her hair and whispering her name. Is that an intense kiss sealing the deal? Ugh, give us some clarity already, you guys. She snaps her eyes open. Turns out, our girl was just having a very, very spicy dream. Hugging the real Raven, she reminds herself she's just a glorified body pillow. No falling in love. The morning sun hits the massive castle, reminding her to keep her heart under lock. Tea time in the office means another boring day watching the Demon King do paperwork. Yay! Seeing he's too busy to chat, she gets the green light to go explore the fortress. Walking the halls, she hears the juicy gossip about her showdown with Puffin yesterday. Demons are even questioning if she's actually human, while she just worries about her social blunder. That training disaster yesterday means she's probably banned from the gym for a while. She turns a corner and sees a tiny kid about to be crushed by falling boxes. Eiglet's hero instincts kick in, and she dives to save the little guy from a total disaster. The kid cries for his dad, who's safe but shaken. Our princess can finally breathe again. Demons are tough, but the father is still incredibly grateful she saved his precious little one. She claims her body just moved on its own, a feeling that triggers a dark memory. A similar thank you from her past life floods her with waves of regret and anxiety. If she keeps playing the hero, history is bound to repeat itself in the worst way. The trauma hits. She was pushed onto train tracks by a man who was totally delusional. He mistook her kindness for love. How can some people be so terrifyingly dense? Is rejecting someone that hard? Now she fears even basic kindness will be totally misinterpreted. The little boy snaps her out of the trauma, asking if she's actually okay. She kneels down, giving him a reassuring smile and insisting she's not hurt at all. She checks on him, but the kid points out his dad is the one with the injury. He waves it off, claiming it was nothing, though missing his kitchen knife stings a bit. Eiglet panics at the knife talk until the kid reveals his dad is the head chef. He rules the kitchen. He almost begged Owl to send a literal helping hand. But everyone's swamped. Injured or not, the chef has to cook or the castle starves. Ding, a light bulb moment. Later, as Eiglet leaves Raven's room, a voice stops her cold. Raven's suspicious. Going out a lot lately, aren't we? Care to share where? He's clocked her schedule. This isn't just a stroll. Time to come clean. She's moonlighting as a kitchen aide since the cook's down. Even Owl gave his blessing. He said yes instantly, though he definitely doubted her secret motives. Why? Raven grumbles. I hired you for ... other things. But the princess claps back. Don't I always make it back for our nap? She doesn't even wait for a reply. With a quick bye-bye, she leaves the mighty Demon King ghosted in his own room. But Raven's not having it. He stalks through the halls after her. The kitchen is buzzing. Eiglet's a social butterfly with the chefs. And Raven? He's just brooding silently, watching her. The demons are gossiping. Master's human is a total angel since the head cook's hurt. Plus, word is out that she's a pro at cleaning up every disaster. They're gushing! She looks cold, but she's actually a total sweetheart. Him? Raven's eavesdropping. The demons freeze as their king suddenly crashes the gossip circle. Ignoring the awkward silence, he just asks, "You guys seriously think she's kind?" Totally, the demons stammer. She's the best. Always helps anyone in a pinch. Back in his room, Raven's spiraling. Kind? Eiglet? Is he living in a different reality? When she shows up, he strikes. Hey, Eiglet, I have a huge problem. What now? She sighs. Raven claims he's too stuck to work. Her solution? I'll go get Owl, she offers. No need, he snaps. So Aglet just shrugs and leaves. It was kitchen time. But that word kind is living rent-free in Raven's head. Think about it, she's never been nice to him. Meanwhile, back in the kitchen, Aglet's chopping carrots, wondering why Raven's been acting like a total weirdo lately. Knocking over papers, whining about standing up ... Is he 5 years old? She can't figure him out, but she's cut short by a sudden, piercing scream. She runs out expecting a crisis, only to find the Demon King blocking her path. He's dead serious. He corners her and finally asks, "Why are you only cold to me?" Aglet blinks as he repeats it with puppy dog intensity. Seriously, why so icy, princess? Honestly, she's clueless. Then she spots the demons grabbing popcorn to watch the drama. They're literally live commenting. Aglet drags him away before things get even more embarrassing. Arms crossed, she demands an explanation. Raven stands his ground. He meant every word. You're always freezing me out. He whines. Aglet's stunned as he starts listing receipts. You ran because of a scream, but when I need help? Crickets. Why do you ignore my struggles? He sulks. Aglet is actually speechless. Is this grown man really throwing a tantrum because she's nicer to the demons? You don't have real problems, she scoffs. Besides, I'm just your professional body pillow. Her attitude shouldn't matter. But honestly, when they're working together in bed, Raven acts so weird and flustered, it makes her heart and her face race. Raven just stares, his brain short-circuiting as he tries to find a comeback. Suddenly, a child's crying. Aglet ditches the king mid-sentence to help, leaving him sighing. Classic Aglet. She rushes over to the weeping kid to find out what's wrong. She explained that her plushie took a clumsy dive out the window and escaped the castle. This was news to Aglet, who had been a total shut-in since arriving. She looks at Raven. She asks to go outside to save the toy, and he agrees, but only as her bodyguard. Outside, the guards were stunned to see their legendary lord actually touching grass. He's oddly polite, making the knights panic. Is there a security breach or a war starting? But Raven just shrugs. Relax, I'm just here because of a lady by my side. While Aglet plays detective with the kid, the girl points to a scary mess of thorns. The doll is trapped. The Demon King explains to the guards he's on a toy retrieval mission. A lost toy? Aglet thinks, easy peasy, I'll just grab it myself. Stop? The soldiers freak out. Those aren't weeds. They're lethal crystal thorns. They're like blast daggers. Aglet pouts. Is there no safe way to save the plushie? Raven demands an update. My lord, there is a stuffed animal held hostage in the thorns. The kid is heartbroken, but the thorns are a death trap. Mission: Impossible Plushie Edition. Go find a stick or a hook. The guard yells, trying to MacGyver a rescue. Suddenly, the butler barks at the idiots to stay focused. While he's busy lecturing them, the Demon King just reaches into the thorns with his bare hands. Owl screams in horror. Everyone's jaw drops, but Raven couldn't care less about the drama. He snatches the bear and hands it over. Here, clean the needles off this. He tells them to return it, his arm a bloody mess like it's absolutely nothing. Aglet is impressed until she sees the blood. She grabs his arm, totally losing her cool. You're bleeding. She's panicking, and Raven is stunned that someone actually cares. She drags him away for first aid. The guards wonder if she just manhandled the boss. Their master is being led like a puppy. Meanwhile, the butler's saltiness levels are rising. In his office, she demands, "Clothes off. Now!" He tries to resist her medical mission. But wait, where's the blood? His arms are perfectly fine. Aglet's jaw hits the floor. Just a few scratches left. He wasn't lying, his body is literally its own hospital. Supernatural healing factor. Unlocked. But Aglet isn't letting him off that easy. It still shouldn't happen. Did it hurt? Raven pauses, pondering the concept of ouch. She keeps pestering him until he admits his magic is just ... Too much to handle. His body can barely contain it. He flashes back to a childhood of pure, overwhelming agony. Since day one, his magic has been a literal pain in the neck and everywhere else. Born in torment that nobody understood, he's lived a life of lonely, silent suffering. It was a miserable existence. Until his human heater, Eiglet, appeared. She's shocked. She had no idea she was his personal painkiller. He explains the secret science. She's a magical sponge. So the body pillow thing? A total medical necessity, obviously. He's confused by his feelings, leaving Eiglet blushing. Am I really that important to you? Raven confesses that without her, he'd be a goner before any legendary saint showed up. He used to think vanishing would be easier. Eiglet steps closer, her heart breaking. She cups his face gently. Is absorbing your power painful for me? Is that it? He's flustered. Pain was his normal, but now that it's gone, he's actually ... scared. The fear is paralyzing. For reasons he can't explain, the thought of losing her is terrifying. The tension is real. A kiss? No, she pulls him into a soul-squeezing hug instead. Don't ever leave me, he whispers. Later, Eiglet's back to her crochet, lost in thought. She can't stop replaying his tragic past and that immense, soul-crushing power. And she, a powerless human, is his only cure. So, a human pillow she remains. He boldly claimed that her presence was the only medicine for his aching pain. Deep down, she suspected a sneakier motive for his clinginess. Suddenly, Raven grabs the